if we do an aratik physically, or an offering, now just an offering of Bhoga was going on, if you do it with full presence, then the Lord is happily accepting it. But if you do it, ringing the bell, reciting the mantras, and the mind is completely somewhere else, then what Krishna thinks about that? Yeah? Because it is kind of a mechanical process. We learn some mantras, we learn to ring the bell, and we learn to offer some water, with foot wash water and mouthwash water. We know to distinguish. Here on the altar they have Panch Patras, they have 5 Patras, we have only 3 in Goloka Dhama. Yeah? So it's a little bit more, one has to think a little more, but it's like a technical process. You can learn easily, no problem. But what Krishna is looking for is actually our mood in it. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Very simple things. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, a little water. Very simple, easy, like easily available items. Nothing big, what everyone can afford. We don't need to be rich people to find a fruit, a little water, a flower, or a leaf. Yeah? But tadaham bhakti uparitam. If we offer it with love and devotion, ashnami praitatmanaha, Krishna will accept it. He is looking for our devotion. He is looking for our feelings, as we heard in Prabhupada's class. So this is important, and this we can add in an offering physically done or done in the mind. So even so, if we do an offering in the mind, we might be more present than when we do it physically and the mind is somewhere else. Yeah? So we see how Panch Anga Bhakti, these are the 5 most potent parts in devotional service. When we look at the 64 items, the 64 angas of Srila Rupa Goswami, we have the last 5 ones as the most potent ones, and these are called Panch Anga Bhakti. We can note that down for you to see. Oh, is it possible for you to see also? Yeah. Panch Anga Bhakti. Panch means 5. And Angas are the parts. So Panch Anga Bhakti are the 5 most potent items of devotional service. And we said it is serving the devotees, or having association with them, sadhu sangha, living in a holy place like Simhachalam or Goloka Dhama. Hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name, and Arjuna, worshipping the deity with faith. But even if we have no faith, the process will work, because these 5 parts are so potent that if we come in contact with them just a little bit, they have the power to ignite our dormant love for the Lord. So in Panchranga Bhakti, Arjuna is there. Yeah? The 5 most potent items of devotional service. Arjuna is one of them. Then we have Navanga Bhakti. Navanga Bhakti. Nava means 9. Anga, again, are the items. This is from Prahlad Maharaj. You will find it in the 7th canto Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, text 23 and 24. And these 9 parts of bhakti, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, also contain the process of Arjanam. Yeah? Prahlad Maharaj recommends us to engage in these 9 processes, and Arjanam is also one of them. So that means we see for our spiritual advancement, Arjuna has a tremendous importance. And as we heard, more than 35 of the 64 angas what Srila Rupa Goswami enumerates in Nectar of Devotion have something to do with deity worship. And within these 35, packed within are 69 sub-angas, which have all something to do with deity worship. For example, not bowing down with the bead bag in one's right hand, but to bow down with both hands on the ground is also worshipping the deity. So we see for our spiritual progress, deity worship has a tremendous tremendous effect. But as we heard, there is also an importance, a strong importance of deity worship for the whole movement. There is one quote I like to share with you. Now I got a little bit, yeah, okay, to follow here. Those, however, who desire to attain pure love of God should worship the permanent form of the deity, made, for instance, of marble, gold, or brass. And they should maintain continual worship. In Krishna consciousness, there is no scope for neglecting the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is from one purport from the 11th canto, 27th chapter, text 12. And there is an incident where Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk together with Jayadvaita Maharaj in Australia. And Jayadvaita Maharaj, he said, Prabhupada, when you come, then the deities are shining. And Prabhupada, he answered, yes, that is my concern. And the Jayadvaita Maharaj couldn't make out what is the connection. No, why Prabhupada speaks, yes, that is my concern. He wanted to say, Prabhupada is so nice when you come, then the deities are so shiny. How is that? Please explain that. Prabhupada said, yes, this is my concern. And then Prabhupada kept silent until they reached the temple. And then Prabhupada picked up the conversation again and he said, yes, this is my concern. That when I leave the movement, that you will neglect the deity worship and then the whole movement will go down. Imagine. This is how important deity worship is for the whole movement, for the success of our movement. Our movement is a preaching movement, a preaching mission. But for an effective preaching, it needs purity. If we want to reach the souls outside, we need to become instruments in the Lord's hands. Otherwise, they will not go to take it. Purichan Prabhu once said, a preacher is someone who opens his heart. We don't go to preach, you are in Maya, wake up. This is not attractive to anyone to hear. But if we come and we share our experiences and how we are inspired by serving the Lord, this is attracting others. We practically preach by example. This is most attractive for others. Not that when guests come to the temple, everyone is like almost falling asleep and running away, don't want to talk with the guests because no capacity left anymore. Then they think, oh no, I don't want to become like those people. No? So we have a responsibility. The deities we have in the movement, they are our heritage, and we are the ones who are asked to take care of them. And when I look through my notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8. 8 of 14 participants here are second initiated. This is a very good number. And second initiation means to serve the Lord, to take responsibility to serve the Lord. Because our purity comes from there. We are asked to follow certain standards, certain rules, certain advice is given how to prepare ourselves before we go on the altar. And if we follow that, naturally we become purified. Yeah? And when our consciousness becomes purified, then our words become more potent because they come right from the heart without any personal coverings, yeah? any selfish conditionings on it. So there we see how deity worship also is of an importance, not just for our personal spiritual benefit and advancement, but for the whole movement. And actually, those of you who are familiar with the 7 purposes of ISKCON, they know that with each and every purpose of these 7 purposes, deity worship is connected. Yeah? To build temples where education is going on, where example is being given in leading a spiritual life. Yeah? This is by worshipping the Lord and dancing, singing, cooking for the Lord, having festivals. Everything practically turns around the deity in the temple. Yes? Before we are able to do it in the mind, we have to learn properly the process. Once my very dear and close god sister and me, we were traveling through Jagannath Puri, and in Tota Gopinath temple there was a sadhu staying inside in a little room, and he called us in to take darshan. And the whole altar was completely dusty and neglected. And I was thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? But my friend told me afterwards, he was very old and he was physically not anymore able to do external worship and keep everything neat and clean. My friend told me, this is an example of a person who is doing the worship in the mind. Yeah. This is when we are exclusively turning to worshipping the mind, when the physical body is not anymore able to. But as long as the physical body is able to, we are asked to also do a Baya Puja. Baya Puja means a physical puja. Yeah? Baya. Yeah, we will hear about that latest tomorrow. Yeah? So both are necessary. But it is a wonderful training for the mind. Already on our stage where we start to worship the Lord, to start on daily basis to offer Him a flower or offer Him something to eat in the mind. Yeah? It's a training. It's like said, the mind is like a muscle. We need to train him like our physical muscles need training to become strong. Yeah? But we will speak more in detail about Manasa Puja. Manasa Puja is the worship in the mind. That will come when we start discussing the puja. Okay. Now, a definition of deity worship. First, I would like to ask you how you would define deity worship. Benuja? Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Thank you. This is an individualized definition. The definition which is given by Shastra is a little bit more neutral, yeah, but it's going in that direction. This is from Madhya Lila. No, sorry, this is here. From Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said, Archana is defined as offering of articles of worship, and we call these articles upacharas. We note this down. Maybe here. We call them upacharas. So archana means offering articles of worship, upacharas, with mantra after having performed preliminary purificatory activities. Yeah? Very precisely analyzed. We offer items with mantra after having gone through some purificatory processes. This is the process of arjana. Yeah? Process of deity worship. And what are these purificatory processes? We will hear about in a few minutes. Now I would like to share with you how deity worship started in the movement. This is from In God We Trust, March 26, 1967, San Francisco. When the kirtan stops, Prabhupada explains that this ceremony is called aratik. Everyone should place their hands over the flame, taking the heat, and then touch their forehead. By doing this, they are now worshipping Lord Jagannath. The devotees have been following the devotional processes of archana, respectively of shravana and kirtana, hearing and chanting, but now at the installation of Lord Jagannath, arjana, deity worship, is being introduced as a simple aratic ceremony. This was 1967 in San Francisco. Yeah. The process of deity worship had been introduced. And then we read in Satsvarup Goswami's Lilamrita, Prabhupada and the deity. He was so kind, Prabhupada, to bring the accessible Krishna Murti. What did we know? How could we succeed? But he did it, starting with Lord Jagannath, then little Radha Krishna in New York. Prabhupada crouched down before them, ordered simple service, kept them in his room, and explained to us that they are not idols. The deity is Krishna. He advised us, if you think of Swamiji and Lord Jagannath all the day, then at night you will dream of them. Dancing before the forms of the deity, he taught us. Otherwise, no one could introduce the deity to the Westerners. Now that they are here in so many temples, future religious historians may think they came by another means, or that any devotee could have called them. But Prabhupada was the one empowered to call the deity. In the beginning, he asked him, the deity, to please take care of himself. Yeah, in Australia, he installed the deities, and then he was crying in front of the deities, and he begged Krishna to please take care of them, of himself, because the devotees were not yet up to the standard. They just got second initiation and they didn't know how to worship the deities. Yeah? Prabhupada said, please, you take care of yourself. Please take care of himself. If the mlechas turned devotees, made offenses. But it was also Prabhupada who later saw that the worship was going on nicely and he approved that Krishna was being worshipped in grand style. Like the Brahmana who called the deity to witness, that was Shakshi Gopal, Prabhupada asked the Lord and he agreed to come. On Prabhupada's invitation, along with the sound of kirtan, Krishna was received in simple settings. In converted rooms, puja began for the Lord. In rented houses, in places such as Boston, St. Louis, Buffalo, and then in grand temples. Great acharyas of the past installed one deity, their beloved Radha Krishna. But Prabhupada worshipped dozens of Radha Krishna, and he traveled to see them. He was the champion of Radha Krishna, installing and distributing Radha Krishna on every continent, again and again, bathing, chanting, dressing, performing the installation. Srila Prabhupada crouched before the Lord, and sometimes he cried joyful tears at the darshan of the glowing Radha Krishna. He mentioned how they were being served and dressed, and he made a stern point that we should never change things whimsically after he had left. It was transcendental and matter of fact to Srila Prabhupada that we must worship the deity of Krishna. Of course, we must do it, or how will we remain purified? And of course, he is Krishna, with flute and tree-curved form, with Radha beside him. And of course, we have to give them our devotion. It was a matter of devotional fact. He will come when there are devotees and they will worship him. Yet, is it not a great miracle? Prabhupada has brought Krishna. Krishna has agreed, and the ex-mlechas have agreed to accept him, and they pray, O Lord of the universe, by Prabhupada's grace, kindly be visible unto me. Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Batagami, Bhava to me. So there we have a little glimpse into how deity worship started in our movement, and we understand also how important it is to carry this legacy on, to carry this heritage on with all of our devotion, to make Krishna happy in his spiritual, in his Arjuna Murti form, and in this way to also become purified and become empowered to spread the mission further. Here is a quote about dressing by Srila Prabhupada. It is not that one should worship Krishna once a week or once a month. Rather, one should worship Krishna 24 hours a day, nitya, eternally. The deity should have a new dress every day, or twice or 4 times a day. This is how Prabhupada sees, no? Why not change the dress twice or 3 times? Yeah? But we need the pujaris for that. No? Even on Janmashtami day in Goloka Dhama, if we have morning dressing and then afternoon dressing with a flower outfit, we need a complete second set of pujaris. And then again in the evening for a night darshan, change and have a new darshan. It needs again a third set of pujaris. Yeah? It's not that easy. But that means an unlimited amount of brahmanas can be engaged in worshipping the Lord. Yeah? There are no limits. There is never a shortage of service. Yeah? Krishna can expand services unlimitedly. If we are so many brahmanas in a community, we expand the service. We dress them twice a day. Yeah? As many times as possible, Prabhupada says. This is called Shringar. Shringar means decoration. Krishna is the most opulent enjoyer, and we should supply him things by which he can enjoy. For instance, if someone gives me new clothing, I say, "Oh, this new clothing is very nice, and this is my enjoyment." Similarly, we should try to satisfy Krishna every day with gorgeous clothing. The dress for the deity should be first class. The food offered to him must be first class. And the place where he is situated in the temple must be first class. Or even more than first class. Even more than first class. Furthermore, the temple should always be as clean as glass. Everyone remarks that the temple of Krishna consciousness movement, the temples are very clean, and they must be very clean. The more one cleanses the temple, the more one's heart becomes cleansed. This is the process of devotional service. The more we dress Krishna, the more satisfied we become. At the present moment, we are accustomed to seeing and appreciating our own clothing. I think what costly clothing I have, and in this way I become satisfied. But when we dress Krishna, we shall feel spiritual satisfaction. All the beauty goes to Krishna, and by decorating Krishna, we become beautified, because we become purified, and then the soul starts to shine through more and more, and this will bring out our real beauty. Okay. So now, if you want to see where we are in the script, this was now on the importance of deity worship. First point, in your script you just find the lecture, the excerpt of the lecture, what we were listening by Srila Prabhupada. All the other points to this topic you need to remember or make your own notes. Now we come to the point of cleanliness. Inside, internal cleanliness, external cleanliness. Very important point. We already heard about that, how important it is. From your side, why you think it's important to special take care of cleanliness? What is reached by caring about cleanliness? What is the effect of it? Yes? Mode of goodness, yes. If we come on a level of goodness, of regularity, cleanliness is extremely essential for that. Yes, thank you. And? What did you? Same. Yes, mode of goodness. This is definitely Jai Nishingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. And when we are in the mode of goodness, then Krishna manifests himself. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, mode of goodness. What else is there? Why we have to take care of cleanliness? Yes, Venuya? We are already contaminated. Enough known. Now let us come a little bit more into Sattva Gun. Yes? Yes? Jai Gopinath. Jai Gopinath. Yes? Right. We are serving the Pavitram Uttamam. Pavitra means pure, clean, and Uttam is the highest. Pavitram Uttamam. And to approach this personality who is utmost pure, true and true, we also have to become pure, otherwise there's no access. Like Prabhupada, he gave an example in the lecture. Anyone remembers? What was Prabhupada's example? Fire, yes. The iron rod has to become glowing, hot like fire. Otherwise he has no access to be in connection with fire. And if we are not fire ourselves, if we come in contact with fire, we will burn. This will be the effect. So therefore we have to have great attention, conscious attention on our purity. We may say, yes, but Archana, deity worship, is not really the process for this time and age. No? What is the process of God realization for Kali Yuga? Chanting the holy name. Harinam Sankirtan. Arjuna was in a previous age. It's gone. We are not qualified to properly worship the deity. Prabhupada gave us two ways. He gave us a path which has two tracks. For a train to ride without an accident, it needs two tracks. Otherwise, if one track is missing, the train cannot continue. For us also, in order to reach the goal, God realization, established again in our eternal relationship with the Lord, we need to go on two tracks. Srila Jiva Goswami, imagine, he lived around 500 years ago. He was the nephew of Rupa and Sanatan. He was stating, actually Archana is not the process for this age. He was telling. But we see that many of our candidates, means many of the persons who want to become devotees of the Lord, they have a very unsteady mind. Imagine, already 500 years ago there was no WhatsApp. How could they live? Confirmed. It's unimaginable for us, no? They had no Facebook, no internet, they had no cinemas, nothing. But the minds of the aspiring devotees were so unsteady that they could not concentrate on chanting. And therefore, Jiva Goswami stated, it is essential for everyone to go through the process of Arjana. Because of the purifying effect, our mind becomes cleansed of all the unwanted desires flickering through the mind the whole day. And the mind becomes pacified. And in this state we will be able to much better concentrate on chanting our holy names. So if Jiva Goswami 500 years ago stated it is necessary for everyone to go through the process of Arjana, how is it nowadays when distraction is 100-fold increased? So much necessary. It's such a wonderful practical process to bring us on the level of Sattva Gun, which helps us to concentrate on our chanting, which makes the reading effectable. Yeah? If our mind is going here and there and we read Bhagavatam or we hear Bhagavatam, we cannot pay full attention. But if our mind is purified, our heart is cleansed, then we can sit down because we understand the importance of hearing and chanting. And then it has its full effect. This quote actually from Jiva Goswami is from his Bhakti Sandarbha. He says, it is Srimad Bhagavatam's opinion that the process of deity worship is not actually necessary, just as the specific prescriptions of the Pancharatra and other scriptures do not have to be followed. We will just also hear what is Pancharatra. The Bhagavatam enjoins that even without practicing deity worship, one can achieve the complete success of human life by any of the other devotional processes, such as simply offering oneself at the Lord's feet for his protection. Nonetheless, Vaishnavas following the path of Sri Narada and his successors endeavor to establish a personal relationship with the Lord by receiving the grace of a bona fide spiritual master through initiation, and in this tradition the devotees are obliged at the time of initiation to begin engaging in deity worship. Is one part, we will come back to that. Although deity worship is not essential, the material conditioning of most candidates for devotional service requires that they engage in this activity. When we consider their bodily and mental conditions, we find that the character of such candidates is impure and their minds are agitated. Therefore, to rectify this material conditioning, the great sage Narada and others have at different times recommended various kinds of regulations for deity worship. Yeah, this is Srila Rupa Goswami mentioning 500 years ago, and he is telling here also the point what we already heard. If we receive the gift from the spiritual master of second initiation, then it's an obligation for us to engage in worshipping the deity. Yeah? This is directly combined because we receive the sacred mantras from the spiritual master which we need to engage in deity worship. And these mantras have a purifying effect also and should be applied in the worship of the Lord. How we apply them, we will learn later on in our course. Okay, now we will come to a little more technical, thank you, part. First of all, we will have a brainstorm. A brainstorm, maybe we can use, this is still enough space. We have so we have external cleanliness and we have internal cleanliness. Now, how do we reach external cleanliness? You just call out whatever comes to your... Take a shower. Yes? I don't get it acoustically. Louder, please. 3 times a day. Yeah, Prabhupada actually he says twice, 3 times, or at least 1 time. Yeah. Yes. A Brahmana is supposed to take 3 times before he's chanting his Gayatri. He should 3 times to take a bath. In India, that is easily possible because so much water is running. Yeah. And it's not that expensive, but in the West that can become extremely expensive. Yeah. At least once. Yes. How else? Clean clothes. What was that? Mouth. Archman. External cleanliness. Yeah. Contaminating places. What can be a contaminating place? Yeah. Graveyard, yes. Toilet, of course, we have to go. It's not avoidable, no? Since we are in this physical body, we have to visit that place. A graveyard, cemetery, yeah, a place where dead bodies are burned. It is said we should take a bath before again going to see the deity when we have seen a dead body or when we have visited a place where the dead bodies are burned. Thank you. External, how can we keep cleanliness externally? Any other points? And the foot. Yes. It is said when we touch our hair, we should first clean our hands before we touch again paraphernalia or our mala, our japa mala. Yeah. On the hairs, the most bacteria are accumulating. They are always considered impure. Yeah. And the feet also, they are full of dust. Before we touch the mala or before we do any devotional activity, reading or cooking or deity worshipping, we should definitely wash our hands. Yeah. Anything else? Yes. Discard the garbage. Yeah? Yeah, there we have to be like humans, and not just, oh, this is now Muchi. There, the human side is coming on first place. Yeah, do the needful. Yeah, but of course, if we are about to go on the altar, we should also take care that somebody is there to take care of the small kids, that we can go on the altar undisturbed while we are in clean clothes. Yes, of course. Okay, external cleanliness. Eat prasadam? Not eat. Not eat prasadam. clean after having eaten prasadam. Yes. Clean mouth, clean the place, clean the table where we ate prasadam. Otherwise, if we sit down in our clean clothes for the altar, we sit down in a place where somebody has just taken prasad and did not clean after himself, we become also contaminated. Contamination spreads by touch. Yeah? Yes? Yes, avoid to sit in a place or lay down in a place where we were sleeping. This can be taken care of by covering our bed with a woolen blanket. Wool cannot become contaminated. Yeah, then we can again use the bed and sit down, lay down, put our clothes on it. Yes, but we will discuss that also in detail. Internal cleanliness. Chanting Hare Krishna. Thank you. Smelling on a flower offered to Krishna. Oops. Maha. That should mean Maha. How else we achieve internal cleanliness? Eating prasadam. Yes. It's an easy process and a joyful process to become internally purified by accepting Krishna Prasad. Yeah, it goes practically on the side. Yeah, like while sleeping, the body is digesting, and all our cells become purified, and when we wake up, we are in different consciousness. It doesn't go so fast, of course, but definitely prasadam is a very strong means to purify our senses, yes, our consciousness. How else? Internal cleanliness, yes, Marianne. Offering aratik. If the mind is there, yeah. Yeah, let's say involve the mind in the activities. Yeah, yeah. Sorry? Pray, yes, prayers. Sangha. No prachalpa, yes. Sadhu Sangha. And of course, one thing is Shravanam. And especially Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. So both is essential, both is required. An external cleanliness, which basically we achieve through taking shower and putting on clean clothes, and internal cleanliness, basically we achieve through our sadhana, process of following, hearing and chanting seriously. Now, we would need an empty board. I can. Now we will have a closer look on the topic of cleanliness. There are 6 places of cleanliness to be considered in the process of deity worship. We call them shuddhis. There is Atma Shuddhi. Atma Shuddhi is an important one. It involves practically the whole point of what we have under the heading of external cleanliness. Although it says Atma, but Atma can also mean the body. Yeah, it refers here to the body. And this is already starting from the point of when we get up in the morning. How do we get up? How is a devotee getting up? Before 4 o'clock. And Prabhupada said latest before 5. Yeah? And especially recommended to get up early in Kartik, before sunrise. What is a devotee doing when he's getting up? Bowing down. To whom? To the spiritual master. Yeah, yes. To the spiritual master and to the deities he's worshipping, in the mind. Because a devotee, when he's getting up, he puts himself again in the understanding, I'm a servant of the Lord. I'm a servant of my spiritual master and of the deities whom I'm supposed to serve. And this consciousness during the night may have become a bit covered, so in the morning we revive that consciousness again. First activity, we pay our obeisances and we understand, I'm a servant. Now we are still in the bed. There is actually a wonderful prayer which is recommended in the morning, which says, O Krishna, O Ishana, you woke me up. Now I am ready to do whatever you want me to do today. This is kind of giving Krishna a blanco check. Yeah? A blanco check, you know what this is? You just give your signature and you can put any amount on top and you agree to any amount to be paid to a specific person. And to Krishna also you give a blanco check. Your signature is on the paper and he can put any challenges, any situation, circumstances he wants you to go through, you agree to everything. And yes, Krishna, you woke me up, now I'm ready to do whatever you want me to do. This puts the devotee in the proper mindset. If then something happens during the day, we remember, oh, I was praying in the morning, and Krishna takes it serious. Yeah? We may not, but he does. And then he brings the circumstances during the day we have to be confronted with and have to go through and learn our lessons. So this is how we start the day. we are still in the bed. What is the next step we do? Yes. Very quick to the bathroom. Yes, Venuya? We are still in the bed. When we now get out of the bed, yeah, that is coming also. But what Venuya said, we are getting out of the bed and we are about to step with our feet on a Vaishnavi, Bhumi Devi. It is an offense to step with the feet on a Vaishnava. So what do? We cannot walk through life on our hands. We have to use our feet. Yeah? Therefore, first we touch the ground. And we ask her for forgiveness to step on her. This is how a devotee goes out of bed. In a prayerful way, in a conscious way. Even though he might still be drowsy from the sleep, but...
When my bell is ringing, I say, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Yes, it's like this.
Yeah.
And I pray to my spiritual master and I go to the bathroom.
Good. Right foot first. Yeah?
Yes, the bed is like this.
Yeah. So then we are out of bed. And then Devaki Mataji told, we put everything nicely, like, of course the bed first has to be a little bit, how to say, ausgelüftet. The wind has to go through everything. This is Kali Yuga, no? Previously, in Vedic times, yeah, exactly. Devotees were sleeping on mats on the ground. Still in the Gurukul in Mayapur, they do like that. And then once you wake up, you roll your mat, you clean the floor, and Sattva Gun is there. Yeah? This sleepy atmosphere is gone. But in our houses, we have big, huge beds. Even on carpet, you cannot clean it nicely. You step on the carpet, you are already contaminated, no? And then what to do with the bed? If you cover it immediately, then it will become stinky because you were sweating in the night and it has to be a little bit in the air, no? So Kali Yuga is also getting complicated. No? Previous ages were more simple, more practical. Somehow or other, we manage with the bed what we have to do. Yeah. Best, of course, if you are about to do a worship after getting up, not to touch the bed before the worship is done. Not to put anything on the bed before the worship is done. Yeah? Or we may cover it with a woolen blanket, with a chadar, which cannot become contaminated. Wool and silk cannot become contaminated. Yeah? Or if it's once contaminated, you hang it in the air or in the sun, and the sun and the air will again purify wool and silk. So we have gotten up, we solved the problem with the bed, now we are on the way to the bathroom. What do we do in the bathroom? Sorry, Nishingadev, please close your ears. I cannot. It's not my fault that the seminar is taking place in the temple room. Yes. Yes. Mouth. Yes. It is very important to first rinse the mouth with water before we start brushing our teeth. Because during the night, on our tongue, some ama, some poison has accumulated. Yeah, and we have to clean it out. It is even recommended to take some oil, yeah, in the mouth for 5 minutes. The oil is pulling out contaminations from the gums and the teeth. Yeah. Then the brushing of the teeth. Yes, hair. Also, ladies, for ladies especially, to bring the hair together. In toilet was there. We mentioned. Yeah, we mentioned right in the beginning. Yeah. If we have to wash the hair, we first wash the hair, then we collect the hairs, we clean everything in the shower and on the floor. We first we dry the hair and then we clean away the hairs on the floor. We put the hairs together nicely, and then we take shower. Yeah, it's not together. It's separated, because the hairs would otherwise come on the body and contaminate the body again. Before we take shower, the hair should be nicely tied in the back. Huh? Venuya? Yes, definitely. Yes. A towel with which you dried your hair has to be washed. Yeah, it cannot be just rinsed under the water. It has to be washed, because hairs are on that. Yeah, with soap. Yes, with machine. Yes. Yeah. You need 2 gamshas. One for the hair, one for the body. Mm-hmm. So then, yeah, brushing the teeth. If we don't use the tongue scraper after taking shower, we are same contaminated as before. If we don't clean the in between the teeth properly, we are same contaminated after taking shower than before. Yeah. So the tongue scraper has to be there, and somehow we have to manage to also clean the parts between the teeth. This is same. Nails have to be cut before taking shower. There's a lot of dirt accumulating under the fingernails. Yeah? For a pujari, the nails always have to be nicely trimmed. Yeah? Not to scratch the deity and not to contaminate the items. We are in touch with water a lot as pujaris. So we need to take care that our fingernails are nicely trimmed. This comes before showering. Yes. And then we take shower. Yes? Yes. Yes, we take like shaking, and then it comes on the hand and we distribute like this. Yes. Or we take a flower and distribute like this. Yes. Yeah. Good. And then we take shower. We should not, if possible, if we are living in an ashram, it's a little bit difficult, but if we have our own bathroom, we should not then, when we go back to the room, touch the pyjama again. Yeah. Yeah. So figure out a way how to avoid that. Yeah. We were working with plastic bags in the temple. This is, of course, not a Vedic way how to take care. There were no plastic bags in Vedic times, but there was also not a pyjama in that sense. Just sleeping in the gamsha, and the gamsha can be rinsed again, and then it's purified. No. So yeah, then we come back to the room. We put on clean clothes. We put on tilak. Yeah. So this is all under the heading of Atma Shuddhi, purifying the body. Then we took shower, we have clean clothes, we put tilak, and then we have to also take a shower in the mind. This is the physical shower. Then we have to take a shower in the mind. This is the chal snan. Snan is the bath and chal is water. And then we have a manasik snan also, which purifies our mind. It is one mantra which goes as follows. Not yet Bhuta Shuddhi. Bhuta Shuddhi is also coming. Achman? No. That is also a little later. I will write the mantra here for Manasik Snan. Snan means bath, huh? Chal, water. Chal, yeah? Chal means water. Shower, we can write this here. This is Jal Snan. I don't know if it's readable, but this is how it is written. Then Manasik Snan. We have the mantra you might have heard already. Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Ya Smaret Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sa Vayabhyantara Shuchi. And that means if one is purified or unpurified, or if one even is going through all different circumstances and phases of life, if one simply remembers the Supreme Lord, who is beautified with lotus petal eyes, he becomes purified both internally and externally. It's a very practical mantra, but attention please, it should not replace a physical shower. Yeah? It should not replace a physical shower. Although it is said one becomes purified externally also, not only internally. Still, we should, of course, take a physical shower. But this mantra we are supposed to recite even before we put on tilak. Yeah? And also, before we put tilak, what Marian was telling, the Achman is coming, but this we will speak later. We have a whole session then on the Achman. We will all get Achman cups and perform it practically. Yeah, we will learn the Achman. It has different places, the Achman. We can perform the Achman before we put on tilak, before we start chanting our rounds, before we start reading Shastra, before we do cooking, and especially before we do deity seva. Yeah? The Achman is practically bringing us into the awareness that now we are going to do a spiritual devotional activity. Yeah? And there are more points about the Achman which we will discuss later on. You have a paper also on the Achman in your scripts. So this is first. We have to take care of external and internal cleanliness. Second, moment. Second is not Dravya, but Stan. Second is Stan Shuddhi. Cleanliness of the place where we are going to perform the worship. Everything has to be cleaned. There should not be some hairs on the ground. Yeah, we take care that everything is nicely cleaned, so that the worship can also take place in a clean, clean environment. This is already also, of course, invoking Sattva-gun, invoking auspiciousness. Stan Shuddhi, clean the place of worship. Point 3 is Dravya Shuddhi. This is a nice one. We will all get an opportunity to practically involve in that. Dravya means the paraphernalia. The paraphernalia is non-different from Balaram. Balaram is Adhara Shakti. Balaram is the accommodating energy. He is providing everything what we need for the worship of Krishna. So also the paraphernalia are his expansion. And in the way how we take care of the paraphernalia, in this way we express our devotion to the Lord. When I started in Goloka Dhama as a Pujari helper, the one Pujari told me, especially on our copper throw-out pot, Induleka and Krishna Chandra, they know what I'm talking about. Copper is attracting black spots. Yeah, is reacting very quickly with oxygen in the air and with water. Yeah, and copper is actually the element what Krishna likes the most. Yeah, why copper? Why not silver? It's much easier to keep shiny. No? Why you think it's copper? Oh, he's not sadistically inclined. No. Why copper? Did you ever polish copper very nicely, shiny? it becomes almost like a mirror. Yeah. And then Krishna can see her, his beloved Radharani in the copper, no? Resembling, reflecting. So this is how we should take care of the paraphernalia. We should clean away each spot. And each spot that Pujari told me, if I endeavor to clean away all the spots on the pot, with each spot a spot of our heart, of my heart is going. And once actually, our Deity Worship minister Nishinga Kawacha Prabhu visited us and was observing how we do Shila Puja. And that time still we had the bathing water in a copper pot, in a big copper pot. And he was sitting next to me and he opened the lid of the pot and looked inside and closed the lid again. And then he opened it again and looked inside. Couldn't believe what he saw. But he didn't say anything and the puja was going on. And afterwards, he came to me and he told me, you know, the pot with the water you are offering to the deities has to be more clean inside than outside. But nobody ever told me that. And at that time we had not such a rigid polishing team in Goloka Dhama as we have today. Nobody told. I was just polishing outside and it was shiny, it was nice. No, but inside it was black. It's completely black. And then he polished it himself. And then he told me, you come to Mayapur. You do the Arjuna course in Mayapur. Actually, it's just now going on since 1 week again. They started every year. They have a 17 weeks Arjuna course in the Mayapur Academy. And if anyone is interested, I even have prospects about it. I highly recommend to visit one. There are different units, like a unit of temple worship. We are doing here temple worship. This goes for 3 weeks. And there's a unit of dressing, goes for 3 weeks. A unit of cooking goes for 2 weeks, I believe. One can also choose just single units. No need to have the full 17 weeks at one go, yeah, according to one's availability. So, but yeah, I attended that course in the same year, and I learned how to polish. Actually, one task what the students have during 1 week, they all get a copper Achman pot. Yeah? And the task is to polish it shiny every day before class. And then when the class starts, all of us are sitting in a circle with the polished Achman cup. And then Nishinga Kamacha is coming, or any of his assistants is coming and walking from cup to cup and checking. Giving a degree, a number from 1 to 10. 10 is Archana Siddhi. It's perfection. It's not to be reached in a conditioned body. Polishing. Shiny. Make it shiny. No. There are specific means, like copper can be polished with lemon very nicely, but lemon is affecting, is so acid, is so strong, it may also destroy the material. So I would not recommend to use lemon for copper. There are like what we have. Oh, we should have actually taken a bio stone also to share, to show. We have bio stone. We have a cream with which all the different materials can be nicely polished. But we brought something else. It's from Vrindavan. It's a powder. It's called pitambari. This is also the red one. Yes. It is also polishing copper very nicely. Yeah. In Mayapur we had Ganga mat, which was also nicely polishing, but this is of course not available here around the corner. So every morning we had to polish our Achman cup for 1 week, and we got a mark, and that was influencing then the final mark. In this way we were trained in what it means to keep the paraphernalia shiny and clean. We already heard in the beginning, the paraphernalia is kind of a vehicle for our devotion. Devotional service is an activity. It is not just a sentiment. And we express our devotion in the way how we perform the services, especially the deity service. If we offer an Achman cup which is full of spots, then what Krishna may think of us. And our heart is also full of spots, and we are not so much really desiring to please the Lord with our worship. Also, imagine all the paraphernalia shiny. It has a complete different effect on our consciousness. If we come in the morning, everything is shiny. This is immediately giving us joy to the heart. Yes, we want to use this paraphernalia in Krishna service, but everything is like with spots and unclean. We don't even want to touch it. What to speak to use it in the worship. Yeah? So Dravya Shuddhi is an important point. To make sure our paraphernalia is nicely cleaned. Then we have now I need to see where we have the Bhoga part. So the Bhoga, what we offer during the worship, is also under Stan Shuddhi. Yeah? We prepare. We just heard also today morning in one quote by Srila Prabhupada, first class Bhoga. First class vegetables, first class fruits, first class sweets. Everything should be first class. This we prepare in the beginning before we start the worship. Then the fourth place of cleanliness where we have to take care of is maybe the most important one. It is Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi means purify the mind. Yeah, we have to clean our mind. This is partially done with the Manasik Snan, and also what we heard, internal cleanliness with chanting, with hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, with having association with devotees, with speaking prayers. Here also is where the connection takes place. Any activity, if it is not connected with Guru and Krishna, is a material activity. Therefore, first of all, we have to connect with our spiritual master. And how we do that? We pray to him. Obeisances, yes. Picture, we worship him in his picture form, yes. And we recite his pranama mantra. Yeah? This is also connecting us. But before we can do that, we have to place ourselves in the position of a servant. This is done with, we call it Bhuta Shuddhi. Now I need to see that I don't write cleaning the ghosts. This is also Bhuta, but differently written. BH, UTA, BH. BH-U-T-A. also Shuddhi, but this is a sub-Shuddhi, a sub-place of cleanliness. Yeah? We have 6 main places of Shuddhis, of cleanliness. Bhuta Shuddhi is to purify the bodily elements. This means we become aware that we are a servant of the Lord. Yeah? We understand ourselves not anymore as this physical body, yeah, but as an eternal servant of the Lord. The most easiest Bhuta Shuddhi prayer is what Lord Chaitanya gave to Sanatan Goswami as an answer when Sanatan Goswami asked him, Ke ami? Who am I? What was Lord Chaitanya's answer on that? Yes. Chivera Svarup Hoya Krishnera Nitya Das. I write it here. Chivera Tatashta Shakti Beda Beda Prakash. This is the second part of the verse, but this we don't need now here. It means Chivera Svarup Haya. Chivera, the Chiva, the soul, Svarup, the form, is. The form of the soul is Krishnera Nitya Das, an eternal servant of the Lord. Yeah? Yes, we can speak this as a Bhuta Shuddhi prayer to make us aware, I'm not this body. I'm by nature an eternal servant of the Lord. Yeah, this is a simple one. There are more elaborate ones, and we will come to them when we discuss the process with 16 upacharas. And then number 5 is mantra Shuddhi. We make clear that we pronounce the mantra correctly. Yeah. With Harinam is not that difficulty to pronounce it. Krishna is so merciful, although there we have to be attentive to speak out all the syllables. But in deity worship especially, the mantras have to be pronounced correctly. Yeah? Especially the bija mantras, the mula mantras, we will hear what this is. Then number 6 is Murti Shuddhi. Murti can never be contaminated, but the Murti can have some leftovers of wax or some leftovers of sandalwood paste from the worship of the day before, or some leftovers of blue tack from the day before. The worship should not be done before the Murti is not cleansed nicely. Yeah? This actually in Induleka Gopi is done when before we do the polishing, we do the Murti Shuddhi. Yeah? We remove with little cotton all the leftovers, because she already is introduced in polishing the deities. So this is done before. Yeah. Okay, these are the 6 places of cleanliness. And from here we will start today, continue today afternoon to make a comparison with the Pancharatric system. This is taken from Hari Bhakti Vilas. These Shuddhis are in Hari Bhakti Vilas, and in the Pancharatric system we have an how to say eine Entsprechung dazu. A corresponding list of requirements for the puja, which we will hear about and identify after lunch. So far, are there any questions or comments? Yes, Venuya? Yes, yes, yes. She is resembling. When she stays close to him and he looks into the copper, then this is in the this is in the past times. Yeah, not so much what our conditioned eyes may be able to perceive. Yeah. Krishna, for example, is wearing a crystal in his necklace, and Radharani is resembling in that necklace. It's not because of the crystal; it's very beautiful, a precious stone. But it's not because of the beauty of the stone; it's because it's reflecting the face of Srimati Radharani. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Yes. There is Kripaji. Yes. Yeah, of course. Animals are also contaminating. Yeah, definitely cats. They are licking themselves with the tongue. They are not clean in that sense. Hair is all around. So that is contaminating. Definitely, we have to stay away from animals when we are about to go on the altar. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you very much.